Today, I'm going to be starting the biggest digital declutter of my entire life. I've been meaning to do a huge digital declutter for months, but it has always overwhelmed me because I've done little digital declutters before where I would go through my photos and I would just delete as much as possible so that my camera roll was a little bit cleaner, but I was always overwhelmed by going through every single app, going through all of my photos, going through all of my notes, my whole Notion, like every single thing I own in the digital world, to go through everything and just restart. So I started making like a little Notion template for myself to keep track of it so I can kind of know what I'm doing and kind of keep track and look at my progress, because I knew that this digital declutter, like, it's not going to take a week. It's going to take months. This Notion page, it escalated because at first it started out just for me, so it was like the most simple list, and my list got to 200 different tasks that you could do to do a digital declutter. That was just the things I wanted to declutter. And then I think I shared it on my stories somewhere that, oh, I'm going to be doing this huge declutter. Like, I wrote out this whole list. I want to do this. And so many people replied to me like, oh my God, girl, please share this. So for the past 2 weeks, I have been spending every single hour of my day basically working on this template. I'm not going to go through it in detail right now because I'm going to do a separate video of just showing you guys the template in a couple of days. Today is all about my digital declutter process. And I'm going to be obviously using my own page because at the end of the day, initially I made this for my own declutter, but there's over 200 tasks to go through, and every single one of them I wrote out a guide and instructions and tips for every single one, and there's a way to track it. There's like personalized guides, so like depending on if you're stressed or if you just need more storage, or maybe you just feel like you're consuming a lot and you want to be creating more, there's like different pathways based on what you need. But yeah, this declutter is probably going to take me months, but today is the first day. Today is when we're starting it, and it's going to be more of like an intensive declutter day because I scheduled a whole day off in my calendar. But after this declutter, it's going to be like a breath of fresh air because I have been on social media and I've been using all these tech devices for years. Like, I have been on YouTube for almost a decade. My 9th YouTube birthday was a couple of days ago, which is insane. But I have been on YouTube alone for a decade. So imagine over a decade how many things build up. Let's start. Okay, so we're now on the Notion page because we need to figure out what we're gonna start with. Like I said, there's like over 200 tasks and I have no idea what I'm gonna start with. So I'm gonna click on start here and I'm gonna go through these steps to figure out what apps I use. So I need to declutter my phone, my computer, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Pinterest, Discord. Oh my God, literally every single one. See, some of them I don't use as much. Like, for example, LinkedIn and Discord, I don't use them actively now, but I do have a LinkedIn account and I don't know what's on. Like, I think it still says that I'm in university on my LinkedIn and I really need to update that. Okay, messaging apps, I mostly use WhatsApp and Telegram, but I think I also want to declutter through my messages app and my Facebook. Okay, for browsers, I only use Chrome and Safari. Music streaming, I only use Spotify. Video streaming, right now I'm not really watching anything at all, but I would like to declutter through my Netflix and my Disney Plus. Apart from that, I don't think I use anything else. No. Google Photos, oh my gosh. That's gonna be a hefty task because my Google Photos is actually much fuller than my phone photos. Like, I used to have like 100,000 photos on my phone and then I sent them all to Google Photos and I was like, that's it. From now on my phone, I only have photos starting with 2023. So right now, I actually don't have like a crazy amount of photos on my phone. I think it's like 14,000. I have no idea, but it's not like a crazy number because it's only photos from 2023. But my Google Photos, there are photos starting from like 2015, 2016 on there. So that's like almost 10 years worth of photos that I have to go through. I mostly use Google Photos and Google Drive, but I know that I have some things on Dropbox and iCloud, so we're gonna go through that too. Email, only Gmail. And then these are some random apps. So I want to declutter my Canva, Google Maps, Goodreads, and Notion, and actually probably my hard drive as well. I'm gonna go over to Pathways now, and Pathways is basically like 5 different guides. So we have free up storage, de-stress, creative flow, social media cleanse, and productivity boost. And based on what you need the most right now, it's gonna give you suggestions on what tasks to start with. So I think I'm gonna go with creative flow. This pathway is for you if you have a lot of creative ideas that you never act on, your notes and inspirations are disorganized and hard to find, you save a lot of useful content in social media but never revisit it. Oh my God, me. We're gonna click into creative flow and it's gonna show me the tasks that it suggests for me to start with. So let's go through this and figure out what I want to start with. with. I want to choose some like big hefty tasks that I can start working on, but I also want to choose some like little quick wins so that I already have some things that I've finished by the end of the day. So for small little tasks, review and delete filters. Like that's such a fun decluttering task. You know how on Instagram there's just like all these filters that we use, and to be fair, I feel like recently I don't ever use filters at all, but this is gonna make this even more satisfying because now I'm gonna have like no saved filters on my Instagram. So I'm gonna change this from not started to upcoming, and it's gonna add it to the list of things I have to do. Also, I want to start decluttering my July photos on Google Photos. Like I said, it's almost 10 years worth of photos, so that's gonna be 10 years worth of Julys. I'm gonna take that one day at a time. So for example, if today is the 2nd of July, I'm gonna declutter all the photos for the 2nd of July only, but it's gonna be like 2nd of July 2018, 2nd of July 2019, 2nd of July 2020. But that way it might still take me 30 minutes, but that way I can work through all of my July photos on Google Photos. Then I want to clean up my story highlights. That's a little bit of a random one, but we love the random ones. And I want to start with organizing my saved videos. So now if I go on my homepage, I can see the 6 that I chose at the top, and I can see the little guides that I wrote for every single one. So every single little task in this Notion template has a little guide or instructions or tips. Some of them are not as detailed because the task can be very self-explanatory, but some can have a lot of advice. We're gonna start with the filters first because I want a small win, and then we'll do the July photos for the day, and then I'm also gonna set the start date as today for both of these so I can see how long each one's gonna take me. Okay, so we're gonna start with going through the filters on my Instagram. I currently have 2 Instagrams, one on each phone. I have 2 phones right now. I'm recording audio out of one. I have tried so many microphones on the market and I'm not happy with any of them. Honestly, I prefer the phone. Anyway, that's aside. But I have 2 accounts at the moment, one for the people I actually know in real life and one as like my public account. So they are on separate phones. So this little phone is like my private little phone. This is where all my messages are, my private accounts, whatever. And this is like my social media phone. So I'm gonna have to kind of do like a double digital declutter because I have like 2 accounts. Oh, on my private account, I only have 1 filter saved. I mean, it's a cute filter, but I never see myself using that now. So, okay, this account straight away has a lot more filters to go through. I feel like I'm gonna end up deleting all of them though because I don't really ever use filters anymore. This one's funny, but I used it like twice on my stories. I don't think I'll use it again. Oh my god, I used to be obsessed with this one. This is the issue though. I don't like any of these filters now because they're fun to look at, but I don't want to use any filter that changes my face too much. This is kind of cute. I don't know how often I would use this. Like I completely forgot this existed, but I'm gonna keep this one actually. Okay, so we're left with 3 filters. We have this one which just makes the photo a little bit more saturated, and this one. Okay, so we had 16 filters in total in the beginning, and now I have a total of 3. I started it today and I finished it today. And now I can go ahead and change this to completed, and we already have 1 thing. I mean, the smallest thing ever, but whatever. Okay, moving on. Sort and declutter July photos on Google Photos. I'm scared. Okay, so today is actually the 11th of July, but I'm gonna look up pictures from the 12th of July because I'm pretty sure my phone automatically connects to Google Photos. So any photos I've taken today are already on Google Photos. Okay, so this is what we have for 12th of July. Okay, we really don't have too many. This is not overwhelming at all. My method is to heart every picture or video that I might want to keep and then delete everything else and then keep doing that until I cut it down to the smallest amount of photos possible. And only then in the end, when I've deleted everything I want to delete, I unheart everything and then just favorite like the actual favorite pictures. I don't know if that's the most efficient way, but it's the way I do it. Okay, so we went from 86 to 11. I think that's really good progress. I basically now just have to do this every single day for a whole year, and then my Google Photos will be clear. So I just saw that it says on my Google Photos that my account storage is 73% full. I pay for 2 terabytes of storage every single month, and that is 73% full. 2 terabytes. Yeah, this was insanely needed. So I'm gonna go through my story highlights. I'm gonna count how many I have first. Let me see. Okay, I have 24 highlights at the moment. I'm gonna go through all of them and see whether I want some of them up. I can already see, just going through them right now, that a couple of them are gonna be taken down. So let's go. Okay, I did not expect to cut out as many highlights as I did. I had 24 and I cut it down to 14. Like I thought I would cut out like 3 or 4, but 10. This is why we needed to do this. Anyway, since I finished those 2 tasks, I'm gonna go into maintenance plan and I'm gonna edit the plan. So we have review and delete filters and clean up story highlights. So basically your maintenance plan is how often you wanna review it and check up on it. And once you have your maintenance plan, you're gonna be able to stay clutter free, because we're not gonna do this whole digital declutter for it to just build up like crazy again. So it's different for every single task and you have to use your own judgment for this. But for example, review and delete filters, I really don't think I'm gonna be saving filters for a long time. So I feel like I could confidently do that like end of 2025. Clean up story highlights, this I would do a little bit more regularly, especially because I do a lot of social media. So I would probably set this to, honestly, end of next month. I can see myself doing it. It's something I should do more often because highlights, I love highlights. Stories are my favorite part of social media. Like I love people's stories and I actually watch people's highlights, and messy highlights, just, I don't love it. And I didn't realize how messy my highlights were. So anyway, the next thing to tackle is the TikTok saved videos. I'm not gonna get this done today because there's so many. There's so many. But I think this is gonna be my task for the next 2-3 hours. So at the moment, I'm following 105 people, which is not too bad, but definitely don't watch all of them. I have 874 posts saved, 51 collections, 248 sounds saved, and 56 hashtags that I'm following. So we're gonna go through all of that. To be fair, that's not even that bad. I've heard of people having like thousands and thousands of posts saved in their collections, but I'm very picky with what I save because I really feel like there's so many useful things that can be found on TikTok, and I have gone through my saved posts before and organized them a little bit, but not a lot. Also, my goal is not to have 0 saved posts, because at the end of the day, like the TikTok collections, they can be almost used as like a Pinterest board. Like there's a lot of things you can use for inspiration, but I'm sure that a good portion of this are things that I don't need saved. So maybe I can get it down to like 500. Honestly, less than 400 would be ideal, but let's see. Okay, so I've been here for like an hour just going through my TikTok. We're down to 738. I went through my following list and I literally, half of the people I follow, I don't know who they are. I mean, I must have followed them for some reason, but when I saw their profiles, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen you before. Yeah, I cut down the collections by a little bit, but the posts, there's definitely a lot. Like there's a lot of really useful things where I guess I'm kind of like, I don't really know how to take a note of that, but we're getting it down. Maybe to switch it up a little bit, I'm gonna go through my camera roll. I don't know which month yet, but like a break from TikTok decluttering. I'm gonna go change locations because I've been laying here for too long. Okay, we've done a little bit of a location switch. I think I'm gonna declutter my phone's camera roll for August and September because they don't have too many photos. It's definitely gonna take me like an hour at least, but it's not too many photos, because reminder, I only have photos from 2023 and 2024 on here. So actually I only have, if I'm doing August and September, it's only August of 1 year and September of 1 year. So it's not gonna take me too long. Also, since it is kind of my day off, while I'm decluttering, I'm watching Financial Audit by Caleb Hammer. Oh my gosh, life-changing show. I made a lot of financial mistakes. A lot. Like one day I will speak about it, but right now I'm in the middle of fixing all those issues. But Financial Audit, it gives me the wake-up call I need. Okay, so it is 4 p.m. and I think I got a little carried away with my decluttering because I didn't realize that it was this time. That took me a while, but let me share my progress with you because the progress is insane. So for my August photos, we started with 509. This is already quite low, but we cut it down to 139, which means I deleted 370 photos and videos. And then for September, we started with 1,097 pictures and videos, and we cut it down to 168. That is 929 photos and videos that I didn't need in my phone that are gone. Incredible. And then as soon as I finished that, I kept going with my TikTok. At the moment, we're at 574 posts. I was very optimistic when I was saying that I'm gonna cut it down to 400. I don't know if I can cut it down to 400 because honestly, some of my collections, I'm going through them again to make sure that I didn't miss something, but there's just so many useful things, and some of them, yes, you can write into notes. For example, I had a folder that was specifically for Bali and I was writing down any good places I wanted to visit in Bali, and I don't need the video version of that. I can just write it down or save it to my Google Maps, for example. There's so many videos where I need to save the actual video, but in that case scenario, I think the most important thing is to organize your collections well, because because if your collections are organized well, then you're actually gonna come back to those videos and you're gonna use them in the future. Whereas for me, all these videos, they were just getting lost in collections that I was never looking at. So I think what I'm gonna do now, as I'm clearing through my saved videos, is I'm gonna start writing out all the collections that I have and trying to figure out a way in how I can make it more efficient so that I would actually check those collections. For example, I had an idea of creating a collection called Action, and I had that idea before. I already have a folder called Action, but for example, I can make a rule for myself that every week I will add a couple of TikToks to this folder called Action, and I don't know, once a month I have to take action on those TikToks. Whether it was advice that was given that I want to take action on, or I don't know, whatever it is, those are the things you have to take action on. But yeah, there's a lot of useful things in there, and it's just sad to lose that and not use it. So I am going to reorganize my collections. Okay, I honestly have no idea how I did this, but I cut down my TikTok saved posts to 369. There was really a moment there where I was like, I don't think I can get to 400. We got to over 30 below 400. So we did pretty well in my opinion. I almost fully tackled TikTok. The only part that I didn't fully tackle is the saved sounds. I had like 248 saved sounds that I would use for like if I was making a TikTok or whatever, and I cut it down to 200, but honestly, I don't have the energy anymore to go through every single sound. And it's like, it's different from a video because sometimes with a video, you don't have to watch the whole video. You see a video that you saved and you remember what it's about, or maybe like you see the text on screen. Whereas with the sound, most of the time, I save a lot of quote sounds where it's like a person is just reading out a quote and you have to listen to the whole thing, and I don't have the energy right now. So okay, so let's just see what my progress is. So in total, I completed 9 tasks. I decluttered through 4 sections of my digital life. So we did TikTok, photos, Instagram, and Google Photos, and the total amount of things I decluttered is 2,114, which is so much to think about, because if those were physical items, those would be so many things. So I'm very happy with that progress. So to finish off, I'm gonna go into the maintenance plan, and we're gonna set some maintenance dates for when I want to follow up and, you know, repeat the task. For example, unfollow hashtags, I don't have to do that for a long time, so maybe I'm just gonna put it to a year from now. Organize saved videos, I would do this a little bit more often because, like I said, I want to go through it more often to actually use the info that I save. And if I only review it every 6 months, like, I'm just gonna forget about all of it. Collections we can organize at the end of the year, that's like not as urgent. For the August photos, I'm gonna go through my August photos after this August ends to clean through this year's August pictures. And the same for September, I'm gonna set it as the first day after the month ends. And then unfollow accounts, I don't follow that many, so it's really quick to go through them. So honestly, I would do this in like 2 months. So that is it for my first day of the biggest digital declutter of my life. I'm gonna schedule in these intensive declutter days once in a while, but realistically, I think it's just like every couple of days I'm gonna schedule out like an hour or 30 minutes or however much time I have and just try to get this done over the summer. I don't know if I can get all this done over the summer, but let's just be optimistic. Let's just say sometime in September, I have to finish. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want this template, I'm gonna leave the links in the description. I honestly am very, very proud of it. It's definitely one of the best templates I've made. Even like there's like little things like the template guide. I've never made template guides for the templates that I've had. Like I've released videos where I walk you through how to use them, but I never have had like a template guide where it's like if you forget how to use a certain feature, you can always just quickly go back and read. And not only the template guide, we also have a resource channel on Telegram where if you have literally any question on decluttering or if you have any question about the template, I'm going to be answering the questions there and you're going to have access to that forever. And then we're also going to have a community group chat where everyone that's joining in the decluttering process, everyone can share their wins and exchange tips with each other. It's honestly like the best digital product I have made in my life so far, and definitely the one that I've put in the most time to. So if you're interested in getting this template, there's going to be a link down below. But thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I love you all, and I wish you luck in your digital decluttering journeys if you decide to go on that journey. See you guys next time. Peace.